All right, today on Shed Talk, I've got Jayme Minor in the shed today with me. Jayme owns Max Windows, and he spent his career helping people protect their homes, improve their lives, and let more light in to places that matter the most. But today, we're not going to be talking about windows. It's all about what men have behind those windows, because you know what? When you're in the window industry, it's clear. But what's on the back side of those windows? We see right through it. So today, we're going to be talking about business, pressure, leadership, and things that'll set you apart, and mental health, and what it takes to live a life that keeps pushing back. You know what, Jayme? Welcome to Shed Talk, and thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure. Happy to always be on a show with you.
Yeah, this is great. Well, you know what, Jayme? The first time we ever met was I actually got to do a talk at one of your events that you were doing.
That's right.
And what did you call that?
It was Authentic Sales Mastery.
And then why did you get into that?
Why did we get into that one?
Because you're in the window business.
Yeah, that was a company to kind of have fun with and give back. You know, me and my business partner learned so much through sales throughout the year, or throughout our years. And a lot of it was learning how to do business authentically, the real version of yourself. And given what we both went through personally, we feel that we've really tapped that. So we want to show other people in our industry, especially the construction industry, it's okay to be real. It's okay to be genuine. And in turn, that's actually going to generate you a lot more revenue. So that one's kind of like a passion project, a way to give back, and also gives me a chance to sing and dance on stage, which I don't mind doing.
Not at all, which is amazing. You just mentioned about integrity. You didn't say the word integrity, but it came back to being your authentic self.
Yeah.
Okay. What does that really mean to people? Because when you talk about sales and people are going into sales, okay, what does being authentic mean?
Authentic is it's a tough one because some people may think they're being authentic or have an understanding of what does that feel like. To me, it comes with experience, and it's also coming with real raw lived experience of understanding when you weren't being the real version of yourself. My personal side to that was I had to be the craziest, wildest, most entertaining person all day, every day. And that was in sales. You know, I'm sure you've taken customers to a Flames game.
Mm-hmm.
And we took customers to Flames games. Well, I play the trumpet at the Flames games. And I would entertain the customers, but I would get drunk. I would probably use drugs. And I could not walk into there as the real version of me. It had to be the inebriated, numb version of Jayme so that he could properly entertain and land the sale, because he was too scared to do it any other way.
When did you realize that that was an issue?
Probably, I would say early 30s, late 20s is when things started to creep, you know, where it was like, okay, I was hungover more. I was struggling with a lot of anxiety. I was starting to get depressed. I was very stressed, like toxic stress. You know, when you first experience any of those things for the first time as a young man who is successful, they're terrifying. You know, toxic stress. If someone would have told me back then, they'd be like, this is toxic. You're not just stressed. You think this is the end of the world. And that's when I started to notice things. And then my group of friends, families, customers started to notice. But I fought tooth and nail not to give up for years. It took a long time for me to figure that out.
Well, let's deep dive that for a second, because a lot of people are watching this right now, and you mentioned the word toxic stress.
Yep.
And we assume people, oh, it's toxic stress. It's really hard on me, and this is what it is. Okay, I'm going to commit suicide. But what is that deep, dark, toxic? What is toxic stress?
So to me, it's something that you have to live through the experience and then have it kind of explained to you to maybe have it pointed out. But I'll give you an example. Like, say you're driving to work and you're going to be 5 minutes late. And you're like, oh no, this isn't good. You get a little panicked, but you go to work. Toxic stress would be, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to get fired. Everybody's going to stare at me. Oh my God, this is so horrible. Maybe I just won't show up. Maybe I'll call in sick. Completely catastrophize the situation, right? That's when it's toxic. When it's so bad that you're doing completely irrational things and thoughts to manage. So it's a real big mix of a lot of different things. But when I had that explained to me from my doctor and my therapist of you need to eliminate any toxic stress, that's when I realized I could be, much freer and more real too.
So how did you release the toxic stress all of a sudden? Because can you have control over that all of a sudden? Using that same example, okay, yeah. I'm 5 minutes late versus, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my job. I'm not even going to go in.
Yeah.
How do you control that narrative?
Okay.
From your experience.
First of all, I understand what I can control and what I can't. So, for example, once I'm rushed with, say, a feeling of anxiety, nervousness, or toxic stress, I can recognize it now. So I feel my body, I feel the heat in my face, I feel my hands clenching, the breathing going, and I understand. I'm like, okay, this is going to last for about 30 seconds to a minute. That's how long an emotion can last. Sometimes it's even less. So I understand that. My logical brain right away goes, okay, whoa, ride it out. Don't run away from this feeling, okay? And I feel it. I go, okay, let's feel this. What are you so worried about? What's going to happen? Let's go through it. And then my next step after kind of calming myself down with like grounding techniques and breathing is I will actually take my thoughts and make them ridiculous. So let's take the late for work example. Well, I'm going to show up late for work. The president's going to be there. And he's going to have a whip and he's going to whip me in front of everybody there, like back in the day. And I laugh. I laugh at it. So what I've done is I've taken the anxiety and the stress and I've made it laughable. Like, oh, wait, this is so ridiculous that you're ever going to think that's going to happen. And then that works for me. And I've used it with other people. I'm like, let's look at what you're thinking, at how ridiculous it sounds. Now, sometimes things cannot be taken in that way, and you have to acknowledge, okay, this is terrifying. Let's start looking for solutions. And that's where I'd start to talk to people. I would let my wife know. I'd let my business partner know. And then last case, I would book a emergency appointment with my therapist. So I have kind of like all these tools and techniques that I've learned over time to manage and handle. But the biggest thing is understanding why they're happening. As soon as we can get logic to take over emotion and irrational fear, you should be good.
So you also mentioned there the 30 seconds of feeling.
Yeah.
That feelings only last 30 seconds. And I wonder how many people actually, you make it sound easy. Oh, that feeling only lasts 30 seconds. Would you ever use that as a test? Say, guys, take that feeling and put it onto your watch and count it?
Yeah. It's incredible. I've done that myself. My therapist taught me how to do it. And then I've worked with my fiance. I've worked with a few of my employees that are open to it too. And the thing is you have to really feel that feeling. Okay. I'm going to really push that fact.
Yeah.
Because avoiding a feeling, numbing it or pushing it away is momentarily going to give you relief. You need to feel it first. And then you say, okay, if I only have to feel it for 30 seconds to a minute, that's not so scary. But the next confusing part is, but I'm still thinking about it. Those are two different things. The feeling that you're getting of your emotion is a sensation throughout your whole body. But when we start to ruminate and revisit it, that's the part where we can actually really take control, right?
Right.
So let's say you and me decide to have a negative thought together. This show is going to suck. No one's going to watch it. I'm dressed way too ridiculous. You're too happy. No one's going to believe it. And we just sit there and we talk about that for the next half an hour. Well, we're going to leave the room thinking that. Mm-hmm. So why not flip that and think positive instead? This show is going to be amazing. I love your smile. I love my clothes. We're entertaining. And you can use that in your life. Like a lot of people don't understand. You can change negative with positivity. It's like, but you have to really focus on it. You have to sit there and say it over and over and over. And a lot of people don't believe it is why they don't do it. It's hard to, especially self-belief, confidence. Sure, that's not easy to get.
And we have to practice it every day, because you don't just all of a sudden you have it. Oh, here we are. I've got it. You've got everything together. You've had it together your whole life. No, we had to work on it every single day.
Constantly. It's constant upkeep and it's constant work. But I do that with a lot of people that I talk to too, is I say, hey, when's the last time you looked in the mirror and looked yourself in the eye and said, I love you. I think you're amazing. When's the last time you've done that?
I do that every morning because I visualize my day.
Okay.
Because the first thing before I get up, I'll lay in bed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'll say, all right, what's the day going to look like? Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's absolutely going to be wonderful. It's going to be raining outside. It's going to be this, because it was raining all the time.
Yeah.
But it's going to be beautiful. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my narrative for the day. I'm going to drive a different path to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to make Groundhog Day, not Groundhog Day, because it's the same day over and over, but say, yeah, I'm ready. Oh, man, I look great. I feel good. Who am I going to change today? That one smile, that one person. Then all of a sudden, boy, you can never have a negative thought. Now, the role playing, when you said that, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I get that anxiety, that same thought about a guy's not paying me his bills for whatever reason, or something happened. So I dramatize it. I make it over the top and go, yeah, okay, there. I role played it. It's over. It's done. All right, now let's get back to work.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. But to say for sure, but not a lot of people do, and it's easier to say than do.
Yeah, because you got to look at, we don't know how much negative thoughts each individual has. You don't. Even if they tell you, they don't necessarily know, right? It's a subconscious thought and it's a conscious thought, right? So that's where that rewiring really needs to happen, right? I'll give you a good example of like subconscious thoughts that need to be changed. I'm going to go back to the Calgary Flames trumpet, okay? Just because I think a lot of viewers will get that feeling. So let's say I go into the Saddle Dome to play the trumpet, sober. I don't drink. I don't do drugs anymore. But I've done that trumpet guy thing from 2004 to 8 years ago, whatever that is, drunk. So when I step into there sober, I'm telling myself, you're okay, you're safe, you can do this, you have an exit plan, and we're all right. The subconscious is screaming the whole time. And I didn't realize that because I woke up the next day, I thought I felt hungover. Felt exhausted. I felt completely drained. And I went, well, what? I didn't drink. I was happy. I was fun. I played the trumpet. But my subconscious was going, alarm bells everywhere. You used to drink here. You used to do drugs here. You've been kicked out of this place. You know, can you do this without all of that? So I had to recognize that just because I was in control of my present moment and my conscious state, the subconscious is the deep stuff that needs to be worked on. And that's where you can get into like real therapy, like EMDR or ART, where they actually like hypnotize you in a sense. And, you know, those are big things that I push to people that are really looking onto that next level of saying like, well, how do I do that, Jayme? How do I speak positively? How do I just change my mindset? I say, you need professional guidance. Right? Not everybody's going to just find this. Some people do. But the techniques that they have now are incredible. Like I've seen people that have a traumatic past and have them completely flip the script in their brain so that when a trigger comes, it doesn't even affect them at all in 2-hour session.
That quick.
Yeah.
So here you are as a young, drinking, drugs, everything. People are telling you, you're a little, and you're successful. Okay?
Doing well.
Doing well,
Yeah.
and everything's there. And then that aha moment, that one person, that one call, because you wouldn't believe it. Are you kidding? I'm the nicest guy in the world. Because your friends, you have 1,000 of them, okay? Yeah. You got lots of friends. You're at the bar. You're drinking. You got lots of money because you're You're at the bar, like literally, you'd be at Dusty's upstairs there, or Dutton's. I think it was Dutton's at the time. Yeah, and you wouldn't even make the second period.
No,
because you'd be sitting there drinking.
Oh yeah,
and the reason why I know this is because that was me.
yeah.
I had season tickets there, and the thing is, what we would do is we had the greatest seats there, whatever they cost. But we wouldn't even make it to the game. We'd sit there and drink.
Oh yeah, you'd be in the bar.
Yeah.
Or I had to drink so much before I even walked into the building. Like I would drink half a bottle of rum before I even left my house. And it was just crazy though, like how that was socially accepted too. Like I'm grateful for this new generation of understanding, no, you don't need to do that. My generation was absolutely do that. It wasn't even frowned upon by our parents. It wasn't. It was laughed off. And it was laughed off in the corporate world. I would roll into work completely drunk still from the night before and get a slap on my back for being strong enough to show up and work through the hangover, and that I entertain customers. But how quickly could I manipulate that? I would come in. I drank by myself the night before. Oh, you smell like booze. Oh yeah, I was out with customers. It's Tuesday. What?
And we'd sit there and people would say, go for a social. We'd have an event. And the thing is, it wouldn't have one drink or like a social drink. I said, no, I'm here for one reason only, and get pissed. Yeah. Why would I waste time just to have a social drink? I'm going to get hammered up here. Why waste a good drunk?
Yeah. Well, exactly. Lather it up. And that's the one thing I'm really impressed with myself for jumping back into that construction community and being as open as I am with my sobriety and my sales technique with it. I can meet customers now for coffee and have a deeper connection with them in 15 minutes than I would have with a whole night out with them drinking, or 10 hours on the golf course drinking, because I'm open and vulnerable and real. And everybody actually connects to it. Everybody does.
Yeah.
You just don't think they will. Right? And that's the thing that I love about this community in this space is every single human being on planet Earth wants to be kind and does want to help one another deep down. And they've also all dealt with themselves or know someone in their close circle that has dealt with addiction or mental health struggles. So if you take it into a business perspective now, and you say, well, I'm in sales and I need to connect with my customer. What is one thing that I can connect with them with? Guaranteed. Real talk. It's guaranteed. It's not fishing. It's not sports. It's not drinking. It's that, because everybody's experienced it. And you'd be surprised how quickly that forms a bond with someone. It's also really good for calming down situations with customers. I just had a customer today. Completely upset me. Essentially, without really saying it, was saying I was lying to him. And that is a massive trigger for me. Past Jayme was a liar. Drunk Jayme was a liar. Right?
Yeah.
Don't lie now. Or if I do, I go, whoa, I didn't tell the truth there. I'm so sorry. But I immediately got triggered and I went really upset. I said, excuse me. I'm like, are you calling me a liar? And basically agreed to it. And I said, okay, this has become way too heated. That is one thing that I will not tolerate. And I'm going to end the conversation. And I hung up. So why did I do that? Because I knew I was in my moment. I had the body, the heat, the chills. I raised my voice and I'm ready to tell this guy off. Instead, I ended the conversation. I messaged my business partner, calm me down. And then I went to our new general manager and said, hey, you got to call this guy. By the way, you can be completely real and honest with him and say, you triggered Jayme. Jayme's past is he was an alcoholic and he lied for many, many years. So you calling him a liar just now, even if you didn't outright say it, set him off. Now, what will happen with them? I don't know.
And and you know what? It's interesting right there because I'm thinking and I'm role playing you. Like my listeners right now are thinking this and they're putting themselves into your shoes. Here you are, and then all of a sudden they know that feeling, that triggered feeling, whatever that is to somebody out there. And then all of a sudden the switch was going. How do you get to do it? You got your guys to do it. Then all of a sudden you said, "No, be honest."
Yeah.
Understanding and controlling the narrative. Be honest. Here's who I am. It triggered me.
Yeah.
It's okay. You guys triggered Jayme. He was an alcoholic. He was this. And then that customer's looking, is going, oh.
Yeah, I can see why he got so upset.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. And
Yeah.
wow, does that ever have an impact? And all of a sudden, I can see that in the visualization where a lot of people, you just did a role play on how the other person would act. And I was just thinking, oh, I wonder how he's going to get out of it until you said that and the truth came out.
Yeah.
That's power.
And you have to do it. You have to. And I'm big on that in everywhere. Right? With anybody that you talk to or work with or have any type of communication, tiny relationships, let's call them, right? Tiny relationships everywhere. And you're going to have confrontations. You're going to have heated moments and uncomfortable moments. The best thing to do is know when you need to step away like I did there. Like my general manager was great too. He said, man, you did the right thing. How you just explained you were heated and that it had to end. Right? Because I could have, you know what old Jayme would have done? I'm the fucking part owner of MAXgreen, and I was going to give you a deal. Go buy your door somewhere else. Click.
Yeah.
But what does that do? You know what that did? That was anger, and anger's more comfortable than feeling sad about being brought into my past about being a liar. Yeah. That's an escape. That's quick, get out of it, make them feel like crap. I feel good for 5 seconds, and then I feel like shit later, and I probably can't restore that relationship.
No, and controlling the narrative and making sure that because your integrity's in line right now, because today and where you're going to be in 5 years from now is exactly the same. What do you get to do in the next part?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So that was a fun one today. It's kind of interesting that happened just before, but it very rare do I get heightened like that. It'll be when something pokes and prods at what I used to be. Right.
Oh, for sure.
That's the one that will get me because I've healed from it, but there's still a lot there. Like, I was like that for years, right? I've got more years being that way than I do not. So I always have to respect that fact, right? And I think another big thing that's important for people to hear is it's okay to walk away and it's okay to protect your peace. For example, if this person fights more, pushes back, and does not become reasonable, I will part ways, right? There's a fine line to opening up, being vulnerable, stating your case and your truth and what really happened, and giving in, Like, that's a big thing I've learned in my sobriety is because you're so clear that you can see everything now. I've got relationships that I don't have anymore because I was like, oh, well, I'm never going to change that person. No matter what I try to do, until they make a decision to get out of that, I will not change them. So as sad as it may be, I need to step away.
So with everything that you've been doing, now you're seeing clearer because now the fog's gone. Because a lot of people will stop drinking and they stop drinking, they'll stop for a day, 2 days, and they go back to it. That's fine. Just one day at a time, just going through that. When does the fog lift?
Well, there's two types of fogs. So there's just the fog from the actual physical effects. Okay. Depending on how much you drink, like 5 days till all that's gone. And I would say like 3 months until you really feel all the physical change from no more alcohol. Now, the fog of your own psyche or consciousness, it depends on the work that you put in, man. Like I've seen a lot of dry drunks. They're sober, but they're not happy. So that's where it's the pieces of trauma that need to be healed.
Let's go back into that. Dry drunks.
Yeah, dry drunks. Learned it in AA.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They'd be like, they would call them. They'd say, "I'm a dry drunk."
Yeah.
As in, I got sober, but I'm not happy about it. And I haven't done my steps. I haven't worked through my healing. I haven't made amends. I'm sober, but I'm still a miserable piece of.
So During this whole stage, transition over, or even today,
Yeah.
what's the hardest thing that you have to go through?
On a daily basis?
Sure.
I would say the hardest thing that I have to go through is probably try not to overdo things. I would say is would be a big struggle that I have. I try to do too much all the time. I have so much more free time, so much more free energy. So I've really learned to be patient. And then finding that balance of too much, too little, not enough. Staying in that middle grounded zone is always a struggle, but I work hard at it.
So you take yourself, here you are playing the trumpet, here at a Flames game. Obviously, you played it everywhere. You're in music.
Yeah.
You did that. Then all of a sudden, you're doing your sales course here. Okay. Yeah. Over the top. Okay. Because I've been there. It's over the top. It is like powerful. Okay. You're in the moment. Everyone's there. And they all talk at the level of energy from 0 to hero automatically.
Yeah.
What's that transition point? Drunk Jayme back then and transition to sober Jayme now, okay? Mm-hmm. And the balance in between there. Which one is truly you? Like, yes, you were drunk, you got there. Would you say you were another 10 times level louder then?
Oh, yeah.
And then this is truly you, obviously, and then being social and all there. Do you have to cap yourself here?
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I've learned that. A great example would be my singing coach and performance coach, right? So I'm practicing songs that I've written and recorded and released. Performing them in front of a crowd is completely different. So she said, you need to be 3 out of 10. Nothing more. Because she says, your 10 out of 10 is ridiculous. Your 3 out of 10 is everybody else's 10. So I go in my mind and I go 3 out of 10. Okay?
And you visualize that.
Yep. But I slip up to 10 lots and I bring it back down, man. Right? Especially when you get me a crowd going and people energizing me, like unstoppable. But I had to do this because my voice would burn out. My breathing, my technique, like singing is unbelievably hard. It is the most vulnerable thing you can do in front of people. Like, I'm not even kidding you, man. It's terrifying. Sober, too. Ugh. So you got to feel it all. You know, like riding a bike, you fall when you ride a bike, you're a kid, you get back up. Well, you have to sound like shit in front of people singing to get better. And you know it. Like, you go up there and I did not hit that note. They all know I didn't hit that note. But I tried it. And maybe I'll get it next time. So that 3 out of 10 allowed me to regulate myself so that I could sing properly. I could engage with the crowd properly. I could dance. I could switch to the trumpet. I could switch to rapping. It's a lot. So if I didn't manage that and I had 10 songs to do, third song in, I'm done. Done. Burnt out.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. So it was necessary. And yeah, like that event that you were at, I lost my voice the next day.
Oh, totally believe that.
Yeah, because I'm talking to everybody, I'm speaking, I'm singing, I'm rapping, I'm trumpet playing, and I went crazy. I didn't warm up. You probably got me all excited. I probably went to 9 out of 10.
Even better, which is good. Trust me, because all of a sudden, and the thing about it is when you're with like-minded guys and you're together, then all of a sudden that energy just goes right here. And it's like, man, I love living in this, breathing, and it's all there because the law of attraction, we want to be with guys that inspire and grow and keep us going and positive. And we get to grow 10 more times, especially when you're not drinking. Sobriety, and I always use this saying, you don't know you're in jail until you break out. And it's like, whoa, what's going on here? I feel great. I'm taking this to next. I'm gonna turn it to 11, whatever that looks like. So the question, so here's where it comes into play: is that here you are, you're doing these talks, but I don't. A lot of people know this, but they don't. I want to kind of dabble a little bit on this. Is your videos?
Yeah,
and it's so funny, and I laughed. I saw this video of you doing Jayme. Here, I'm a rapper. I'm the rapper. Here it is. See me here. Support me. I don't even remember the thing. And all I could think was Weird Al Yankovic. Is this a spoof way back in the day? And then I saw it, and then I realized I knew you.
Yeah.
And I'm going, no way. And I watched it, and I'm going, if he could do this, You could do anything. And people don't realize. And then it happened again. And it happened again. It wasn't just one video you did.
Oh, yeah.
It's 2, 3, 4. And now it's one of those you have to watch. It's one of those like, oh my gosh, if you can change your life and you can be whatever you want to be, Jayme did it.
Yep.
And here's where it is. And doing these videos. So you got talk a little bit about these videos.
So like essentially when I got really comfortable with my story, I wanted to make music. I love to make music. I made it in the past. I was always a singing, rapping, breakdancing, trumpet playing crazy guy. But I always did it under the influence, okay? So I made songs just about that, right? Or my parody Weird Al songs, I'd be canceled if I put them out right now. Like they were so, off the collar, right? And so now I make real music, right? But it's very Jayme. I'm a kid. Okay, I when I sing and I rap, I sound kind of like a kid. That's my natural tone. And you know how many like producers and writers and people I worked with, you need to sound breathier, you need to sound sexier and more raw. I'm like, no, this is how I sound. Well, there are people going to think you're a kid performer. Let them think that. I don't care. That's me. And so from years of posting and making the music, I finally found something that worked. And from what I've heard is just keep doing it. So it's kind of that bait. You've got me with this little camera, no music. It looks like I'm singing and dancing and then has a phrase. Can this sober rapper go viral? Or he's 42 years old, 8 years sober, and he's the next Macklemore. And people are like, no, he's not. But I got to watch. And then it's a mix of my real music and my parodies. A song about a hot dog. Why not? It's me, though. It's all me. It's all real. And they've gone viral. Like I've got some at, 600,000 views, 500,000 views, and thousands and thousands of comments and shares. Now, what's been really interesting is the hate that comes along with it. So you've got men 18 years old to 50, 90% of my viewers. And a lot of them are making fun of me. So I'm going, okay, why? Why are they making fun of me? I mean, it's an easy target. I look ridiculous to the average person, which I disagree with. That's just me. But I'm like, okay, it's men. I'm talking about sobriety. I'm being really open, honest, and vulnerable and real. I don't have that. What's the easier thing to do? Is it to comment, I wish I had what you had? Can you teach me? Or what a loser? What a loser's easier. So I write back to every single person that comments. Most of the time I'm very kind. Sometimes I'll call them out. It's free world. But what I've actually seen is I've had people turn from the most vile hatred you could imagine to a fan. Okay? I'll give you one really powerful example. I get a direct message on Instagram from a young man. Kill yourself. Straight up. I write back and I say, I'm sorry for whatever you're going through and how you're feeling to have sent me this message, and I hope you're okay. Later, I'm sorry, man. I was high on meth. I shouldn't have sent that. I go, it's okay. Do you need help? And we had quite a long conversation. Unfortunately, he didn't accept my free counseling offer, but he ended up following me. So that made me realize, I'm like, okay, I've got to keep going. The more negativity I'm getting, essentially, the more positivity I'm promoting. And I've had at least, like hundreds reach out, and at least in the 50s of like actually help them get some sobriety and get some counseling. So it's tough. It's not for the faint of heart what I'm doing, but I like it.
And it's interesting because as you're telling that story, I'm thinking, well, I don't read my comments. I don't care. So I just keep going because that's who I am. Yeah. And then all of a sudden here you are, you don't ignore them. You're responding to them. You're asking a better question, and then all of a sudden, you're making them thinking. You're making them accountable.
Yeah.
Versus just being there.
Exactly. And then I've even pushed it even further. So a lot of it is your music sucks. You can't sing. You can't dance. You look ridiculous. So I go, okay, let's flip the script. Help me. Help me make a song. Help me make it better. And I've got these guys now, like writing lyrics to my song and sending me videos of them singing. Like completely vulnerable and saying thank you. So I'm like, oh, you just wanted to be included. That's it. Inclusion. No one likes to be left out. And it was hard, right? Because like there was a lot of criticism that was mixed with pure hatred. So they got really blended together. Like I did get upset. I did one video where this one really upset a lot of people. And I said, I would have hated myself too. I said 9 years ago when I was addicted to drugs and booze, fighting depression and anxiety, I would have hated this Jayme Minor because he has everything I want and I can't get. So I understand. Wow. The real people came out and said, how dare you call us all addicts? We're just offering you criticism and you're love bombing us and, you know, using all these AI scripted responses. So I go, okay, fair. You know what? Fair. That's you're right. Tell you what. I hear your criticism. Let's make it together. And I got 4 or 5 guys, like I'm telling you, like Kevin, like they were mean. And now they're defending me. Someone says something mean, like, nope. Oh, I used to think the same. He's a great guy. So I go, okay, keep the kindness, keep pushing. And I always fall back on this thought that the lady who ran the recovery center I went to said, you can either take your ability and make more money or you can help people. Because she says, damn it, Jayme, you will be able to spread this word so big and so loud with your talents. So you decide. I've done both.
Wow.
Right? Because you need money to spread the word. This place.
Oh, yeah. We talk about freedom. Yeah. Freedom, people say, oh, Canada, the United States, we have the best freedom in the world. Well, you know what? You better make some money.
Yeah.
Freedom costs.
It costs money. And it's the opportunities there. And I push a lot of that too with my sales coaching, you know, and some of these young men too is, you know, they'll come and say, well, help me. How do I get a Lamborghini? How do I become a vice president of a company? And I say, well, first, what are you passionate about? What do you like? And if that passion can be tied into a career, I say, that's what you do. Go work somewhere you're passionate about. And I said, just work hard and learn as much as you can about that place and work your way up. That's it. So that's not rocket science, okay? You know, and ask for help constantly along the way. Because, I mean, you look at me, I wasn't passionate about building windows and doors in a factory at 18 years old. I had fun. I made fun. People loved working the shift with me because I was entertaining as hell. But as soon as someone said, you would be good in sales of these, and boy, do they make a lot of money, I went, oh, I'm going to learn everything I need to learn. Everything I need to learn about all this product, every system, every process from the bottom to the top. And now I own part of a window and door company, right?
Just like that.
Just like that.
Yep.
Right? But that's what I share with people. My passion was sales. I'm good at it. I'm really good at it. Like I was just like, they couldn't believe me. My first year, they were like, how did this young man, the youngest ever for the company, sell this many windows? Like, how did he do it? And it's because I had no fear. But that's the thing is as soon as someone can find a passion and tie it into career, I don't think you can lose.
No, you can't. All right, so here we are. How do we get a hold of you? Now, get your Instagram.
Okay. So it's JAYME_MINOR_, or you just Google Jayme Minor. It'll all pop up. I'm in the feed the proper way.
Perfect, because he's Google famous.
Yeah.
So when you do that, check it. You got to check out his Instagram. You got to go through it, like and share his stuff. All the stuff that Jayme's doing. Where else do they find? What other information do they need to know, my listeners?
Like when you Google my name, follow me for one. My webpage also has a resource center. So if you are struggling in any way, you can reach out to me and I will offer anybody free counseling who reaches out to me. Okay. And then listen to my music and go in and make some nice comments. I'd love to see a couple.
All right. All right, Jayme, thank you for being on Shed Talk. You know what, guys? Like and share, subscribe. Make sure you're listening to Jayme. Make sure make some comments on there and say, you know what? I heard you, saw you on Shed Talk, and maybe he'll put you on one of his videos. Anyway, see you guys next time on Shed Talk, and thanks, Jayme, for being here.
My pleasure.
Thank you.